everyone, I'm Chef Jenny from Gentry Whole Health. Thanks for joining me again in the Good Food Studio for another quick and healthy recipe. Today we're going to be making a delicious, quick and easy roasted broccoli and vegetable soup.
There's a food fight going on. A fight between your right to know what's in your food and those who don't want you to know. Genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, are plants or animals created by forcing the DNA from one species into another. Sounds like science fiction, but you can walk into most stores and find GMO products on the shelves, unless you look for the Organic or Non-GMO Project Verified seal. The Non-GMO Project is North America's only third-party verification program. Protect your right to know what's in your food. Visit nongmoproject.org.
So you want to begin by assembling all of the equipment, and this recipe is great because it really doesn't take very much. You're going to need your knife and cutting board. You're also going to need a rimmed baking sheet that is lined with parchment paper for roasting in the oven. You'd like all of your ingredients assembled. You're also going to need a blender and some bowls for your cut vegetables. You want to make sure that you preheat your oven to 375 degrees. And then we can just get started assembling our vegetables. So of course for the broccoli soup we're going to be using broccoli. And here I've got about 1 head's worth of broccoli. And I'm going to cut this sort of halfway down the stem because the bottom part of the stems can sometimes be a little woody. So we're going to cut those off, just about halfway. And then you're just going to sort of thinly slice the stalk and then just chop your broccoli into large florets and just put them on your tray. And broccoli is a really wonderful vegetable to have any time of year. It's really great raw in salads, but I also really like it steamed, lightly steamed, or roasted like we're doing here today. Broccoli, of course, is really high in dietary fiber. It's got lots of antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals, including calcium. We're also going to be using a red onion, and you just want to take off the papery outer skin of your onion. And then you're going to cut off the root end and the stem end of your onion, peel it. I like using red onion for this recipe because it's a little sweeter than a regular cooking onion, but you can certainly use a regular cooking onion if that's what you have in your cupboards at home. So just peel the skin off. There we go. And you're just going to take a look at your onion, and if you're using a regular cooking onion or a red onion, you'll have these nice natural grooves down the side of your onion. So you just want to make sure that you follow those with your knife. And we're not slicing these thinly, but you also don't want really big chunks. So you want them to be about 1/4 inch thick so that they roast at the same time as the broccoli does. And then just grab those and put them on your tray. Just spread everything out sort of evenly. And then to help these soften up in the onion, or in the oven, we're going to season them with a little bit of sea salt and a little bit of ground black pepper. And then I'm going to add about a tablespoon's worth of olive oil over the top. And that will just help them to caramelize in the onion, or in the oven. I keep saying onion for oven. And it'll just help to boost the flavor. So just move those around on the tray. And then that's it. We're going to put them into the oven for about 10 or 15 minutes on the top rack of your oven. And again, it's preheated to about 375. So join me after the break and we'll see what they look like.
let Pond Perfections improve the sight, sounds, and quality of your pond. With the experience of caring for hundreds of ponds per year, call Pond Perfections today and let us, the experts, help you with all of your pond needs.
Okay, so we're back and our vegetables are beautifully roasted. They're nicely caramelized as well, and the flavor has deepened even more in the oven. So what we want to do now is to blend our soup. So what I've done is I've heated up about 3 cups of water, or you can use stock, on the stove, and I've got 2 cups in here. I always keep about a cup's worth back in case I want to thin out my soup a little bit, but I tend to like my vegetable soups a little thick. So I'm going to start with 2 cups of hot water in here. Then I'm just going to grab my vegetables, and the whole thing gets added to my blender here. Move the tray. And then we're going to be adding our other flavorings. So the other things that we're adding to this soup will be about 1/4 cup of sundried tomatoes, and they add a really beautiful kind of Italian flavor to this soup. We're also going to add about 1 tablespoon of balsamic vinegar, and that just helps to add a little bit of sharpness to the soup. We're going to add a little bit more seasoning in the form of sea salt and black pepper. And then I have about 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. And nutritional yeast is very nutritious. It's actually an ingredient that's used quite often in vegetarian or vegan dishes, and it adds a really nice, lovely, sort of savory flavor, almost a cheesy flavor to things. It is not like regular baker's yeast, which is an active yeast. This is an inactive yeast, and it is loaded with B vitamins, which this time of year, as winter sort of drags on, B vitamins are those hard to get vitamins in our diet that actually boost our mood. So we're going to add about 3 tablespoons in here into our soup. And I also have 1/4 cup of fresh basil leaves. And you can use any fresh herb that you like, but sticking on the sort of Italian theme of this roasted broccoli soup, I'm going to be adding our basil. So I'm going to put the lid on here, and you want to make sure whenever you're blending anything with hot liquids that you keep a clean kitchen towel handy, and you're just going to put that over the top so that when you blend it, if the steam sort of makes the lid pop off, you're not wearing hot soup. Alright, so just turn it on to low to start, and then you can increase the speed a little bit to high just to blend everything up. So thanks again for joining us, and I hope you enjoy your soup. You could be here to smell it. And it looks delicious too. So I'm just going to pour some out here. Make sure that you season it to taste before you serve it. Oh, but that's just a bowl of goodness. And on a cold winter's day, it's a delicious, delicious meal to have. So you just want to make sure that if you have any leftovers of this, that you keep it in the fridge for about 2 or 3 days, or you can freeze it as well. You can make it in a larger batch and roast a couple of trays of vegetables at a time, and then you can freeze even more of it. Or you can switch out the broccoli and try some different vegetables. So you could do an equal amount of cauliflower, you could do sweet potatoes, you could do red peppers as well, and really sort of change up the vegetables according to what you have at home. So thanks again for joining us, and I hope you enjoy your soup.